It begins with a single fleeting moment. A plastic bag, caught by a sudden gust of wind, dances across a city street. A bottle, discarded without a second thought, rolls from a picnic blanket into the grass. These are events so common, so seemingly insignificant that we barely register them. Yet, they are the first trickles of a flood. A relentless, silent invasion that has been gathering force for decades. This is not a natural disaster of roaring winds or shaking earth. It is a crisis of our own creation, an unintended consequence of our ingenuity. A tide of plastic, born from convenience, now threatens to overwhelm the very systems that sustain all life on this planet. Imagine a remote island, hundreds of miles from the nearest continent. Its beaches should be pristine, shaped only by the endless rhythm of the waves and the wind. Instead, the sand is a mosaic of color. Red, blue, green, and yellow shards are mixed into the shoreline, a grim confetti marking the reach of our consumption. This is the reality for places like Henderson Island in the South Pacific, one of the most remote places on Earth, yet also one of the most polluted. Our waste has found its way to the last untouched corners of the world. The journey of a single piece of plastic is a long and destructive one. It often starts on land in our towns and cities. A discarded wrapper, a discarded cup, left on a pavement is soon washed into a storm drain by a passing rain shower. From there, it enters a hidden network of pipes, a man-made river system flowing beneath our feet. This network carries our plastic waste, unseen and unchecked, directly into our natural waterways. It joins a stream, it joins a river, beginning a relentless downstream march. Once in the river, the plastic begins to fragment. The sun's ultraviolet rays make it brittle. The constant motion of the water, the grinding against rocks and sediment, break it down into smaller and smaller pieces. A single plastic bottle can splinter into thousands, even millions of microplastic particles. An estimated 8 million tons of plastic enters our oceans this way every single year. When these rivers meet the ocean, they release their plastic cargo into a world of powerful currents. The most infamous of these, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, is not a solid island of trash, but a colossal, soupy vortex of plastic particles estimated to be 3 times the size of France. But the journey doesn't end at the surface. As plastic fragments, it can become colonized by algae and other marine organisms, making it heavier and causing it to sink. It has been found in the deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench, nearly 11,000 meters below the surface. From the street corner to the deepest ocean trench, the mark of our plastic age is now truly and tragically everywhere. For the creatures of our world, plastic is a deadly imposter. In the vast blue of the ocean, a floating plastic bag looks uncannily like a jellyfish, a primary food source for the ancient sea turtle. The turtle, guided by instincts honed over millions of years, swallows the bag. But this is a meal that provides no nourishment. It clogs the turtle's digestive system, leading to a slow and agonizing death from starvation. This is not a rare occurrence. It is happening every day. Seabirds too mistake floating plastic pellets for fish eggs, feeding them to their chicks. The chicks, their stomachs full of indigestible plastic, feel full but are starving, and many never survive to leave the nest. The danger is not just in ingestion, it is also in entanglement. Discarded fishing nets, often called ghost nets, are among the deadliest forms of plastic pollution. They are designed to be strong and invisible in the water, and they continue to trap and kill long after they have been lost. Seals swim into these nets, dolphins swim into these nets, whales swim into these nets. Their struggle to escape only tightens the plastic's grip. The nets cut into their flesh, restrict their movement, and ultimately lead to drowning or starvation. Over 650,000 marine animals are estimated to be killed or seriously injured by ghost gear every single year. The harm extends to us, humanity. The microplastics that permeate our oceans are being eaten by plankton and small fish. These are then eaten by larger fish, which are in turn eaten by us. We are, in effect, consuming our own waste. The fundamental problem with plastic lies in its very design. It was engineered to be durable, to resist the forces of nature. The chemical bonds that make up its structure are strong, and they're unfamiliar to the bacteria and fungi that are nature's expert recyclers. A wooden log will rot away, its nutrients return to the soil, an apple core will decompose in just a few weeks. But a plastic bottle is a different matter entirely. A plastic bottle can persist for an estimated 450 years. A plastic bag, for perhaps 20, a disposable coffee cup lid for centuries. Nearly every piece of plastic ever created, unless incinerated, still exists somewhere on this planet. It may be circulating in the ocean, breaking down into endless smaller plastic pieces. This fragmentation is relentless. A single 1-liter plastic bottle can break down into enough microplastic particles to put one on every mile of every beach in the entire world. It doesn't disappear, it becomes smaller, more pervasive, and infinitely harder to clean up. How do you filter trillions of microscopic particles from the ocean, which covers 70% of the planet? How do you sift every handful of sand on every beach? Cleanup efforts, while noble and necessary locally, address only a tiny fraction of the problem. Our systems for managing plastic waste are fundamentally broken. Globally, only around 9% is recycled. Another 12% is incinerated. 79% ends up in landfills or the natural environment. We stand at a critical juncture in the history of our planet. The evidence is unequivocal, and the images are heartbreaking. We have seen the albatross chick starved by a stomach full of plastic. The whale washed ashore with kilograms of our waste in its gut. The once pristine beach is now buried under a colorful shroud of our debris. We are the first generation to fully understand the scale of the plastic crisis, and we may be the last with a chance to do something meaningful about it. The path we are on leads to a future where there is more plastic in the ocean than fish by 2050. But the tide of plastic is made of individual choices, and so the tide can be turned by them too. Refuse the plastic straw. Refuse the disposable coffee cup. Refuse the single-use bag. It's about choosing reusability over disposability. Carry a reusable water bottle. Bring your own bags to the shop. Opt for products with less packaging. These small, conscious decisions, when multiplied by millions and then billions of people, create a powerful current of change. We need our governments to lead with bold policies. Implement bans on the most harmful and unnecessary single-use plastics. Invest in robust recycling and waste management infrastructure for all communities. Hold corporations accountable. Push them to redesign their products and packaging. The natural world is resilient, but it is not infinitely so. It has an extraordinary capacity to recover, if we only give it the chance. Let us work together to turn back this plastic tide and restore the health and beauty of our remarkable blue planet.